Alright, y'all. What's up? I'm doing a recapture because the last one came out shitty. And now I gotta do it all over again so it's gonna be good and not shitty. You know what I mean? Understand? Because I like to have quality in my shit. Problem is, I don't remember a goddamn thing that I said in the last. But that's life, man. You gotta live with disappointment. You gotta be able to move on and, you know, try to overcome whatever faults you may have had. So, I did say something about why I do this. So, this is my my views on the movies that I used to watch as a kid, seeing them through different eyes. And for instance, this one now I'm going to be looking at is The Matrix, which let's begin by saying that it is it's what they call in science the what's it called? Fuck. What's that? It's like a point when something new comes along, some sort of invention that completely changes the world of technology. The word for it, which is really strange, well, anyway, skip to it. I'm gonna be looking at the Matrix on my giant ass TV I got here. Not giant, it's just 32 inches. It's nice to have a TV that's pretty decent. So I really love this movie. It's just that it's not the easiest movie to rewatch because it's the first one. It's a lot of exposition, a lot of introduction of people and characters and concepts. And after you learn that stuff, you don't need to watch it again. When it does get to the most interesting bits, these elements here, where Neo is discovering how to use his powers, and all this stuff between him and Smith, Trinity, it's already damn near the end of the movie. But The Matrix, the first one, is still the best one because it is restrained. It doesn't have Neo doing 50 backflips and a billion Smiths and all this pointless shit thrown in our faces for the hell of it, which is wonderful. And it's also the most interesting thing about that is that this movie came out the same year as The Phantom Menace. And if there's anything the Star Wars prequels will ever be known for throughout history, it's their overindulgence on special effects technology. Whereas The Matrix is the first of its kind at the time that it came out to be this introduction to a new kind of special effect use and technology, and yet it's not a movie that's completely overcome by its own special effects. It's just there to help to sell the movie and the idea in the film itself, which is exactly what Star Wars originally had going for it, was that it brought all these interesting new kinds of artistic methods into the realm of film, and then but it did it in such a way that the films were still very much fun and enjoyable and not simply full of shit every single minute. Then of course we learned that the Matrix has not immune to that crap either. It ends up being exactly what it once was above, which is weird. I wish the sequels didn't do that. And they're still good movies. I can watch them and enjoy them and all that, but it's just such a pain in the rectum that they decided consciously, willfully, to create these movies that pretty much are just bombastic. Yeah, I've seen Dark City, and Dark City is a more deeper version of this same story. It's actually better acted and a better movie. And, there's a lot of similarities between this and anime and comic books. Terminator, of course, Man vs. Machines, you know, but I've never seen it all done this way. This style, I've never seen it like this. So the Matrix is all its own stuff, in that sense. It created its own entity, regardless of how many goddamn animes there are, or Dark City, or Terminators. It took all of those movies, and yet it still came out with something that's pretty much unique to itself. That's truly amazing. This movie was above and beyond a lot of films of its ilk. And still influences movies made today. That's really amazing. I don't like this new one they made. This is from the DVD they've made now. It's captured. It's on the Blu-ray actually. And what the Wachowskis did was go back to the first film and tint it green, so that it's more in line with the sequels, which they made green-ish. When they went into the Matrix, they get the tinted green. In the original movie, the Matrix looks like the real world, which is it's intended to be, so there's no freaking green tint to everything. Here they dialed it up, so it's like they're in some sort of Tron bullshit. But it's better when it's just regular tones and not a freaking goddamn green that they're trying to do. God damn it. So here he is, getting fucked up, shot to hell. He believes that it's not real, so he shouldn't be feeling no pain or nothing. At least by this point in the movie. Barrier. The beautiful thing is subtlety in this film. It's all subtle. There's no long, boring explanation of the entire motives behind the characters. No freaking dance scenes and the goddamn jungle beats and all that nipples and sweat flicking through the air. No. It's just the story of Neo. From start to last frame. You get no fucking other shit stuffed in the movie. It's kind of very 90s. I like that about it. The other ones are they're definitely fucking new movies because it's just 90s movies were a different kind of movie. They didn't have we were beginning to have that, but we didn't have the lots of internet and all of this CGI. We were living in the dark ages, so we had to focus on patience and subtlety and artistry. A lot of people back then, even that was not enough. You know, people still had more deeper, more in, more complex artistic interests. But compared to what we have today, this is practically high art in a lot of ways because it takes its time to tell its story rather than being just this big jittery ADHD nonsense. Because kids today don't read as much as they should, or they read on Kindles, which is retarded. A goddamn book. Um, and there's so many slow moments in these films. The original, because that's the 90s. 90s had those moments where things slowed down, and you had to think about things. You had to think about the character, what their motivation was, how they're gonna handle the situation. Why did they feel this way about this? What would you do in that situation? Do you agree with their methods or with their world views? They don't do that anymore. It's gotta blow that up, get to this point. It's all a video game. It's just one objective after another. This is mad homo. I like a movie that actually makes you think a little. At least the Metros made you goddamn think. And of course, this is pretty much sets itself up for a sequel. The thing is that they didn't think they were going to get a chance to make it. That's why. That's why it's better for movies to be made when there's no guarantee of a sequel, because the director tries his damnedest to give himself that opportunity. If they knew they were gonna have Matrix 2 and 3 to fuck around with after this, they would have half-assed the movie. Instead, they made a damn good one with full intention of possibly making sequel if necessary. It's sad to watch the first one now. Okay, it's all gonna go straight to hell in the next couple of years. So they really hurt in that sense. Back in the 90s, yo, at least 99, I dreamt of Matrix 2 and 3. I even wrote school papers on what would happen in the Matrix or whatever in the next Matrix thing. I wrote that, and none of that shit I wrote actually happened. What they came up with, the Wachowskis, so they really pissed me off, man, and I felt extremely disappointed in them for what they did to me personally. I don't like them anymore. No, I like them still, but it doesn't make sense to take what was once so very very just just as classy and good and really well crafted, and just dump it all in the shitter for this cartoon unrealistic shit that lost its head up its own ass. But for what it originally was, thank God, because it changed the playing field for film and brought it to new heights. So there you go, man. That's The Matrix. Piece of awesome movie that, would have made anyone think that any sequel that came out was gonna be the shit, instead of actually being shit like they were. With philosophy lessons implanted all over the goddamn place. Thanks for watching, and have a blessed evening, or whatever you're doing right now.